This is... Oh, oh, that bitch is bitter, nigga. That nigga asked me that. Nigga, you got what has blocked your screen? Click the screen icon and your address bar of law. I never was done. What the fuck? I ain't got no fucking. I should have brought my spray, man.
Ruled by the...
Hey, K.O.B., you got what I need. Finding yourself full of dread these days? Word you can't get approved?
Kid Rapper got a treat for you.
Pay only $85 down or...
Before he was a symbol of joy, Mickey Mouse was a face no one should have seen. His smile, too wide, hid something Walt Disney never confessed. This is the story buried beneath the archives, the dark origin of the world's most famous mouse. An origin painted with blood, madness, and a pact that forever changed the history of animation. In 1928, the world saw Mickey for the first time in Steamboat Willie. Everyone thought it was just a cartoon, but the studio workers knew something strange had happened before its release. Walt spent entire nights locked in his office, talking to himself. Distorted laughter echoed through the halls, as if someone or something was laughing with him. An animator named Charles Mintz wrote in his diary, "The walls moved, the shadows stretched whenever Walt drew the mouse, and in the ink, something was alive." Days later, Charles was found dead in his apartment. His face was twisted into a smile identical to Mickey's, and his pupils were blown wide, as if he had witnessed something unspeakable. The earliest sketches were grotesque. Uneven ears, hollow eyes, sharp teeth. It wasn't the cheerful Mickey everyone knows. It was a still, staring creature, like a painted corpse. The artists called it the Silent Mouse. They said every time they drew it, the room grew colder, and the clock seemed to stop ticking. A rumor spread through the studio. Walt had discovered an old reel filmed by a man who claimed to capture figures from beyond. From that footage, Mickey was born. Those who watched it swore they saw a rotting mouse walking among human bodies, and each time the film was played, someone connected to it died soon after. The lost short was later called Suicide Mouse. It doesn't appear in official archives. According to those who saw it, Mickey walked endlessly through a dark street, his sad expression twisting until it became deranged. At the end, the sound warped into a human scream, and the screen faded to black with the sound of a child crying. Everyone who worked on Suicide Mouse vanished or went insane. One man was found in his home, walls covered in red writing that read, "He smiles because he's already here." No one ever identified who he was. After that, Walt banned any mention of the short, under threat of immediate dismissal. Years later, an ex-animator leaked supposed frames from the film. In them, Mickey had human eyes, his smile sewn shut with wire. The background seemed to breathe. Analysts who examined the negatives reported unexplained electromagnetic noise and claimed the audio contained real recordings from autopsies. By 1930, Walt began having nightmares. He said Mickey watched him even when he wasn't drawing. His wife claimed he talked in his sleep, whispering, "He wasn't my creation. He drew me." In the mornings, mirrors around the house were fogged with small black handprints. During a psychiatric session, Walt described a figure that followed him since youth. He has round ears, big hollow eyes. Sometimes he smiles, sometimes he weeps, but he's always close. The doctor diagnosed him with early schizophrenia. The next night, the doctor was found dead, with a drawing of Mickey pinned to his chest. After the psychiatrist's death, Walt withdrew from the public eye. Studio employees whispered that he no longer cast a shadow. He worked alone, sketching the same grin over and over. One janitor claimed that the drawings blinked when left in the dark, their eyes following him across the room. Days later, the janitor quit and burned all his uniforms. In 1931, a security guard reported hearing a projector running at 3 a.m. inside the locked animation room. When police entered, the reel was spinning by itself. On the wall, the film reflected an image of Mickey, but the face kept changing, sometimes smiling, sometimes screaming. The officers described hearing whispering voices coming from inside the film itself. By 1932, the Mickey phenomenon was unstoppable. Children adored him, but adults often felt uneasy. Some viewers fainted during early screenings, claiming Mickey's eyes moved differently from frame to frame. Rumors spread that the reels contained subliminal frames, human faces twisted in agony, visible only for a fraction of a second. An internal memo surfaced years later, warning animators never to pause the original Steamboat Willie master reel. Those who did reportedly saw something horrifying between the frames. A figure behind Mickey, a tall silhouette with elongated arms and no face, standing right beside him, as if puppeteering the mouse from the shadows. Walt began referring to this entity as the Other. In private notes he wrote, "He promised me immortality through creation. All he wanted was an image to live in." After that, Mickey's design subtly changed, his eyes larger, his grin broader, his laugh higher pitched. Fans called it progress, Walt called it control.
Don't compromise quality insurance for savings or your time for this ad. Hit that skip button, or don't, and watch me skip.
In 1933, a fire broke
Close the door.
out at the studio. The scene.
Yeah.
His smile, too wide, hid something Walt Disney never confessed. This is the story buried beneath the archives, the dark origin of the world's most famous mouse. An origin painted with blood, madness, and a pact that forever changed the history of animation. In 1928, the world saw Mickey for the first time in Steamboat Willie. Everyone thought it was just a cartoon, but the studio workers knew something strange had happened before its release. Walt spent entire nights locked in his office, talking to himself. Distorted laughter echoed through the halls, as if someone or something was laughing with him. An animator named Charles Mintz wrote in his diary, "The walls moved, the shadows stretched whenever Walt drew the mouse, and in the ink, something was alive." Days later, Charles was found dead in his apartment. His face was twisted into a smile identical to Mickey's, and his pupils were blown wide, as if he had witnessed something unspeakable. The earliest sketches were grotesque. Uneven ears, hollow eyes, sharp teeth. It wasn't the cheerful Mickey everyone knows. It was a still, staring creature, like a painted corpse. The artists called it the Silent Mouse. They said every time they drew it, the room grew colder, and the clock seemed to stop ticking. A rumor spread through the studio. Walt had discovered an old reel filmed by a man who claimed to capture figures from beyond. From that footage, Mickey was born. Those who watched it swore they saw a rotting mouse walking among human bodies, and each time the film was played, someone connected to it died soon after. The lost short was later called Suicide Mouse. It doesn't appear in official archives. According to those who saw it, Mickey walked endlessly through a dark street, his sad expression twisting until it became deranged. At the end, the sound warped into a human scream, and the screen faded to black with the sound of a child crying. Everyone who worked on Suicide Mouse vanished or went insane. One man was found in his home, walls covered in red writing that read, "He smiles because he's already here." No one ever identified who he was. After that, Walt banned any mention of the short, under threat of immediate dismissal. Years later, an ex-animator leaked supposed frames from the film. In them, Mickey had human eyes, his smile sewn shut with wire. The background seemed to breathe. Analysts who examined the negatives reported unexplained electromagnetic noise and claimed the audio contained real recordings from autopsies. By 1930, Walt began having nightmares. He said Mickey watched him even when he wasn't drawing. His wife claimed he talked in his sleep, whispering, "He wasn't my creation. He drew me." In the mornings, mirrors around the house were fogged with small black handprints. During a psychiatric... Before he was a symbol of joy, Mickey Mouse was a face no one...
Facts to his, but hold on, let me just... Like, the 9 and pen. That shit with Penny was crazy, though. Let's see this Mike Myers one.
If you're here in the area and are looking for a solution to heat your home this winter, then this is hands down the system you need to be looking at. It's a...
Do you think the movie Halloween is just fiction made to scare? What if I told you that behind Michael Myers' mask lies a true story, buried for decades? A tale so dark that Hollywood toned it down. A truth involving blood, cults, disappearances, and a boy with empty eyes. It all began in 1962 in Russellville, Illinois. The police found an entire family brutally murdered inside their home. The strangest part, the house was locked from the inside with no signs of forced entry. And there was only one survivor. A 6-year-old boy named William Thorne. William was found in the backyard, covered in blood, holding a butcher knife. He was motionless, staring into nothingness. When asked what had happened, he simply said, "The man in the mirror told me to." The phrase echoed through the station. The officers never forgot the tone of his voice. With no solid evidence, William wasn't arrested, but he was soon sent to St. Marcus Psychiatric Clinic, one of the most feared in the region. For years, he didn't speak. He only drew, always the same blank face with a white mask. Doctors thought it was symbolic. They were wrong. In 1969, psychiatrist Leonard Mathis took over the case. He tried to understand the boy's mind, studying his drawings for months. Until one October night, William spoke for the second time in his life. When the moon bleeds, he will return. Hours later, the psychiatric wing caught fire. William survived the fire with barely a scratch. Dr. Mathis wasn't so lucky. He was found burned, with his skull crushed. The report called it an accident, but firefighters swore. The fire started inside William's room, which had no electricity. No lighter was ever found. After the incident, the boy was moved to a maximum security wing. Curiously, 2 years later, his records were closed. Cause of death, cardiac arrest. No photo of the body, no autopsy, just a rushed, scribbled death certificate. William Thorne disappeared. Years later, at a flea market in Haddonfield, young screenwriter John Carpenter found an old diary. It belonged to the late Dr. Mathis. Inside were accounts of William, voices he heard, and a cult called the Order of Samhain, which used children as vessels for ancient entities. Carpenter became obsessed with the story. He saw the foundation for a script, but told no one about the source. He created Michael Myers, a silent killer with a white mask and empty eyes, an inhuman force. But few knew Carpenter wasn't just creating a monster, he was portraying one. During the filming of Halloween in 1978, strange things began happening. Lights flickered, equipment failed, and one actress claimed to see a man standing at the back of the studio. The crew thought it was paranoia. Until one day, something unexpected happened. A real death on set. The set electrician, Mark Daniels, was found dead in Warehouse 3, his body hung by the wrists, eyes gouged out. Beside him, one word written in blood on the wall, Samhain. The production tried to cover it up, calling it suicide, but no one could explain how he mutilated himself that way. After the incident, Carpenter began having recurring nightmares. He saw a boy staring at him, waking up always at 3:33 a.m. Once he woke with claw-like scratches on his chest. He sought spiritual help. A medium was called and said the energy there was older than evil itself. She left terrified. Carpenter rushed to finish the film. He said he needed to close the cycle. The film was an instant.
Hey boy, he said Samhain. Samhain? Oh, that's the name of it. How you say it?
Samhain.
There you go.
Samhain.
So, mark the Celtic New Year, the end of summer, and the end of the harvest season. It also signaled the beginning of winter. That's what Samhain mean, what they were saying was sign up, which they associated with death. On this day, the Celts, which mean the Celtics, believe the veil between the living and the dead was especially clear. This allows spirits of the dead to visit the living. Oh my goodness, I just got a text. Oh my God, this nigga is in jail. What the fuck? Oh, He in jail. He in jail for probation violation, so he goes sentenced next week on the 15th. All right, bro. I'm off of you. All right, now that's what the Samhain mean. Back to the rest of it.
Success, but behind the scenes, people close to the production began dying mysteriously. The editor died in a bizarre film reel accident. His scream was accidentally recorded. One by one, those involved in the original film vanished. Some left the industry, others had public breakdowns. Jamie Lee Curtis, the film's star, later revealed she felt a presence on set. She avoided being alone during filming. Michael was just a character, or maybe not. In the 1980s, journalist Claire Hensley investigated the film's origins. She tracked down Dr. Matis's diary, but it had vanished from the production archive. Claire located the old St. Marcus clinic. She found it abandoned, but with signs someone still lived there. Inside, Claire found walls covered in strange symbols. In the basement were dozens of white masks scattered around. In the center, a restraint chair with human fingernail marks on the arms. On one wall, the phrase, "He never left. He's just waiting for the next Halloween." Claire recorded everything and sent it to her station, but before it could air, she disappeared. Her car was found burned miles away. The tapes vanished. With no evidence, the case was shelved. They say she became part of the pact, what they call those who try to reveal the truth behind Michael Myers. In the 1990s, screenwriter Daniel Farrands tried to reboot the franchise with a script telling the origin of the Samhain cult. The studio rejected it, saying it was too dangerous. He received anonymous threats and abandoned the project. Later, in an interview, he said, "What I wrote came from a dream or nightmare." Reports surfaced from fans who watched the original film dozens of times, noticing the mask's reflection subtly changing expression in specific scenes. An online theory claimed that every Halloween, someone watching the movie could be marked, and the real Michael Myers would choose a new soul. In 2007, at San Diego Comic-Con, a cosplayer dressed as Michael Myers stood motionless for over 6 hours in the same spot. When security tried to remove him, he fled. One guard was later found dead in the venue's bathroom. The knife was never found. The man was never identified. The following year, an indie studio tried to release a documentary titled The Real Halloween. The director, Chris Mallory, disappeared a week before the premiere. The raw footage was sold online for a symbolic price. Viewers claimed a motionless figure appeared in nearly every scene. Skeptics say it's all coincidence and sensationalism. But strange patterns exist. All deaths and disappearances linked to the film occur in October, always after the 13th. In many cases, a white mask is found near the scene, without logical explanation. In 2018, a Blumhouse employee snapped a backstage photo during the new Halloween sequel. When zoomed in, they noticed a reflection in the glass. A 6-year-old boy, identical to William Thorne, watching the set. The image leaked, but was wiped from the internet within hours. Some occult scholars claim Michael Myers is the modern form of an ancient archetype, the Veil Keeper, an entity that lives between the worlds of the living and the dead. This entity uses human bodies to cross over and manifest on specific dates, Samhain, or, as we know it, Halloween. A former nurse from St. Marcus broke her silence in 2020. In an anonymous interview, she said William was no ordinary child. He knew the name of every person who would die. He whispered the details of what was coming, and sometimes he spoke in languages none of us knew. She disappeared 2 months after the interview. Curiously, in Halloween Kills, there's a deleted scene where Michael looks into a mirror and sees a boy. The scene was never released, and the director said it made no sense. But an editor insisted it was filmed because something similar happened on set during a break. John Carpenter rarely speaks about the film's origin. In a 2021 press conference, when asked about William Thorne, he turned pale and replied, "Some stories should never be told, and some ideas don't come from within us."
Okay, no, that person that says the mask's origin. They said, as you just heard, that mask came from William. It was repainted by William Shatner, Star Trek. That's what they saying. The evil stare, the character's most significant inspiration, came from a visit to a psychiatric hospital during college at Western Kentucky University. He described seeing a young, vacant-eyed patient with a schizophrenic stare that he found profoundly unsettling. The name, Michael Myers. The name was a tribute to Michael Myers, a European distributor for Carpenter's 1976 film Assault on Precinct 13. About to continue the film.
They simply find a willing body to obey. The most feared theory among fans is the Myers cycle. Every 40 years, they say, the spirit returns, seeking new eyes. 1962, 2002, and now 2042 would be the next rupture point. Until then, he wanders among masked faces, waiting to be recognized, waiting for someone to say his name aloud. But what if he's already among us? What if the obsession with horror films is just a distraction created by him to feed on collective fear? And what if every time you watch Halloween, he gets closer, slowly crossing the line between fiction and reality? Maybe he's reading this now. In the lost files of St. Marcus Clinic, one final handwritten phrase was found, hidden on a wall for decades.
Okay, I'm trying to get my
lipstick and eyelashes, bust down lace and sunglasses, blush on my...
The translation. It's not evil that wears the mask. The mask is the evil.
Hey, why you just cut
and maybe with every new Halloween, it's simply searching for a new face, a new home, a new William. In 2022, a group of urban legend hunters tried to break into the old Russellville clinic. Armed with cameras, they spent hours filming. They found fresh blood on the walls, even though the building had been closed for decades. One member, Josh, was never seen again, but his camera was found, which was still recording. In the video, Josh walks down a dark hallway and says, "There's someone here with me." The camera falls to the floor, capturing a pair of bare feet slowly approaching. Then, the sound of heavy breathing and a whisper, "He's awake." The footage ends there. The rest of the tape was melted, as if burned from the inside. Forensic experts analyzed the footage, but couldn't explain how only part of the tape melted from the inside without damaging the casing. Some said it was staged. Others, more skeptical, refused to even look at the evidence. One investigator reportedly went blind after watching the tape alone in the dark. Despite all this, Halloween remains one of the most iconic horror franchises in history. Its influence shaped generations of filmmakers. But beneath the awards and fanfare lies a warning. Some stories aren't meant to be told, and some characters were never just fiction. If William Thorne truly existed, and if his story is real, then Michael Myers might not be a creation, but a continuation. A vessel that shifts through time, wearing different faces, but always with the same purpose. To feed on fear, to cross the veil, and to never die. So the next time you watch Halloween alone in the dark and think you see something move in the reflection of the screen, don't blink, don't look away, because if the legend is true, recognition is an invitation, and he only needs one glance to know you're ready. Some fans have begun a new ritual. They cover all mirrors before watching the film. Others leave a single candle burning, but the bravest say his name 3 times before the movie starts. No one knows what happens to those who do. Maybe you'll find out. Because the mask doesn't choose just anyone. It waits, it watches, and when the time is right, it returns. So this Halloween, ask yourself, are you watching the film, or is it watching you?
And I'm gonna do the Candyman and Bloody Marys. I'm gonna do all 3 of them.
Taking the time to savor Thomas's crunchy yet soft bagels.
Thanks, Tom.
It's Tom.
All right.
For decades, the figure of Jason Voorhees was treated as pure fiction. But what if I told you that behind the mask, there's a real story, buried beneath secret documents, dark pacts, and enforced silence? This isn't just an urban legend. It's a living nightmare, born of forbidden rituals and hidden experiments. What you're about to hear was never meant to be revealed. In July of 1979, 3 teenagers vanished at a remote camp near Wessex Lake, Oregon. The tent was found torn, blood-stained, and with the word Jason written on a broken mirror with a fingertip. No bodies, no witnesses. The case was quickly silenced. The town's people seemed to know something, but their silence was absolute. Sheriff Douglas Crane tried to keep the investigation going, but was removed days later for misconduct. Oddly, all records vanished from public archives. Local newspapers were ordered to avoid the topic. Residents who
everybody from news reporters, the schoolers, like high schoolers, it was reporters. Everybody came up missing. Everybody died. That all was linked to this, to the point that they had to change the name. You notice everybody's name was different. Mike Myers wasn't. What you say, Shay? You not close enough. You not close enough. You can hear me, Rue?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shay, you not close enough to the mic because your thing not even, like, when you be talking, Rue, you see your mic moving?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Shay, your mic, it ain't even green. Like, it ain't, I can hear you, but I can't hear you, Shay. But I'm gonna go back to the, back into this though. But yeah, everybody died when he was,
Shay ain't on here.
insisted on speaking were intimidated. Something bigger was behind the disappearance. A week later, a man arrived.
You said you ain't hear what?
I said I can't hear Shay, or I damn sure don't see Shay.
No, she keep her shit on.
Type shit.
Right to you.
Arrived in town, Alan Perlow, a screenwriter from Paramount. He claimed to be doing field research for a new movie. He was seen questioning locals, buying old documents and paying for silence. The name Jason intrigued him too much, but no one understood why a writer was so invested in a real-life case. An old fisherman, Jonas Carter, was one of the few who spoke to Perlow. He claimed to have seen a figure emerge from the lake the night the teens vanished. It was a boy, but his face deformed, covered in scars, dead eyes. Days later, Carter was found dead on his porch. Officially, a heart attack. Unofficially, signs of struggle and scratches. Medical reports said heart failure, but neighbors heard screams and metal sounds. That same month, Hollywood announced the film Friday the 13th. When the script leaked, it was nearly identical to Wessex case. A deformed boy, a lake, campgrounds. But now it was fiction.
So,
Jason Voorhees became a movie legend. In 1981,
I got tab all right. Now, Wessex. Damn, man. I already had this up, but I didn't have it up, so y'all gotta give me a minute. Okay. They talking about this Wessex Lake stuff. Wessex Lake. Wessex Camp can refer to a Pacific ancient Iron Age site called Salisbury Camp, a historical medieval reenactment camp, a modern youth or Christian camp in the Wessex region, or a general term for various camping or glamping sites located in the northern Wessex Downs. So they basically just talking about that where he from, basically. Okay, basically they talking about his case. Okay, let's see right here. No, I'm trying to see. I've been trying to find it. Okay, right now, 2025, Jason Voorhees will be 79 years old. His birthday is June 13, 1946, making the June 13, 2025 celebration of his birthday also the only Friday the 13th in that year. That is crazy. Here's how to calculate his age. Birth date, June 13, 1946, current year, 2025. Calculation. 25 minus 1946 equal 79 years old. Let's tap back in.
Martin Doyle, a former cop turned private investigator, received an anonymous cassette. The nighttime recording showed a tall figure in a crude mask, standing by a tree, watching teens in a cabin. The location, Oregon's woods, same area as Wessex Lake. The image shook. The only sound was heavy breathing. Martin became obsessed. He drove to Wessex. The town felt frozen in time. Old shops, empty streets, wary stares. When he asked about the lake, people changed subjects. When he said Jason, some cried, others vanished. It was like the name was cursed, something no one dared say out loud. He met Abigail, a woman who'd lived in Wessex for decades. She invited him for tea and secretly gave him a diary. It belonged to Pamela Voorhees, Jason's mother. It described abuse at a psychiatric facility and her raising of a deformed child, a dark secret seemingly erased by history. The diary said Jason was born in 1962 under horrible conditions. Pamela raised him in a forest cabin near the lake. At age 7, teens broke in to use drugs. They mocked his appearance and cruelly doused him in gasoline and lit a match. Pamela arrived as they fled, but Jason was already burned. Jason survived but was left unrecognizable. Pamela, devastated and driven mad, believed the teens weren't dead, just disguising themselves to return and kill him. She began abducting and murdering campers, convinced they were the same ones. Pamela was eventually caught. Deemed insane, she was institutionalized. A month later, she vanished. Medical records mentioned an escape, but no explanation. One final message was left behind. On her cell mirror, she wrote, "He's ready now." But no.
Out here, every road leads to pizza. Hot, cheesy,
I don't know how people feeling about the pizza.
and prep.
For sure. That pizza don't look good. All that pork. Ain't none of the chefs tap. Oh shit! There we go. My bad, y'all.
Where Pamela was confined. In the archives, he found an incomplete file and a blurred photo of a child in a crude mask. Beside it, in case of emergency, activate Jason. The patient's name was unclear,
You see
only a
what
reference,
got her name
the
as,
boy
bro?
from the lake. He tracked down Robert Lang, an ex-psychiatric nurse. Lang hesitated but confessed. Pamela believed Jason had returned in monstrous form for revenge. She said he wasn't dead. He was waiting. After her escape, Lang was called for a secret mission, find Jason and erase him permanently. Martin doubted Lang's sanity, but pieces were aligning. He found a report from Frank Adler, an ex-government agent, about a secret op to silence Jason. It referenced a lake zone where bodies were never recovered. His search took him to a forgotten forest area where the lake had devoured everything. There he found an old cabin, half submerged and mossy. Inside, ashes, a leather mask, and a faded photo of a child. On its back, he will return. And when he does, the blood will be mine. A chill ran down Martin's spine. Something evil was stirring. Martin left the cabin with the photo in hand. That night, as he reviewed the files in his motel room, the power went out. Seconds later, a knock on the door. He didn't answer. Another knock, louder. He looked through the peephole. No one. When he opened the door, a crude, wet mask lay at his feet. He rushed to his car, drove hours to the nearest city, and handed the evidence to journalist Lisa Harrow, known for exposing military cover-ups. At first, she thought it was all a prank, until she played the cassette, the breathing, the movement, the eyes. It was too real. Lisa flew to New Jersey to consult with an expert in folklore and government secrecy, Dr. Alan Krebs. He analyzed the tape, diary, and reports. His conclusion? A failed Cold War experiment. Jason wasn't just a boy, he said. He was part of a black project to create fear-based weapons, monsters that couldn't die. He showed Lisa a document labeled Project Revenant. It listed test subjects exposed to trauma, forced mutations, and psychological warfare. One subject had survived multiple termination attempts. The name was redacted, but the location? Wessex Lake. The project was supposedly shut down in 1973, but Krebs believed Jason had been activated by accident, his trauma making him indestructible. He doesn't feel pain, doesn't sleep, doesn't die. He remembers fire, betrayal, and now he hunts anyone who disturbs that place. Lisa returned to Oregon with a cameraman. They camped near the old lake. On the second night, the camera caught movement in the trees. A figure, large, masked, watching. No sounds, just presence. They fled, but the footage survived. She released a 10-minute documentary online. It was taken down within an hour. Her account suspended. Martin vanished the next day. No calls, no signs. Lisa left the country, fearing for her life. But whispers grew online. People started reporting similar sightings near lakes, mostly in the Pacific Northwest. The pattern: disappearances, silence. Authorities claiming drownings or bear attacks, but no bodies, no prints, just torn tents, scratches on trees, and sometimes that same crude mask. In 2015, a deep web user posted a video titled The Revenant Protocol. It showed a military debriefing, men in suits reviewing photos of campgrounds. One stated, "Subject 13 remains active. Termination attempts unsuccessful. Containment advised." Another replied, "Let the legend do its job. Fear keeps them away." The video disappeared hours later, but the legend grew. Jason Voorhees, once a fictional killer, might be a real experiment gone rogue. An unstoppable entity born of pain, fire, and silence. Not a ghost, not a man. Something else. Watching, waiting. And if you ever find yourself near a quiet lake, deep in the woods, and you feel like you're being watched, don't run, don't scream, just walk away, slowly. Because if the legend is true,
don't
he doesn't
scream,
chase.
walk away.
He waits. In 2018, a team of young documentarians decided to investigate the origins of the...
I'm running. I don't care about trying to listen to him. He tripping. He talking about don't run. Don't scream. Don't yell. Just turn and walk. Boom. And then he talking about just turn and walk. And if you get killed, whoop-de-doo.
Revenant Project. They called themselves Deep Signal and had more courage than common sense. Equipped with cameras, drones, and a history of viral videos about abandoned places, they headed straight to what they called the heart of the legend, the forgotten outskirts of Wessex Lake. During the first 2 days, they found only silence, dense trees, and ruins of old facilities. But on the third night...
Are you looking for the most affordable way to add electric heating and cooling to your older home?
No,
if that's the case,
something changed. The drone captured an image for just a few seconds. A tall figure, motionless at the edge of the woods, staring at the campsite. When they returned to review the footage, the file was gone. They persisted, stubborn. One of the members, Kayla, found a rusty hatch buried under leaves and roots. They filmed everything, opened it. Inside was a concrete corridor covered in symbols scratched with nails or knives. At the end, a steel door, locked. But there were sounds, low, guttural, like something had been breathing there for decades. That night, one of them disappeared. Tyler. He had gone to relieve himself and didn't return. They searched for hours, called out, nothing, until they found his lantern, still on, floating in the middle of the lake. It was impossible. He would have had to swim dozens of meters in seconds, and he couldn't swim. They fled. Only Kayla and Jonah managed to leave the forest. They went to the police, showed the footage, recorders, but the files were corrupted. The sounds were gone. And the police, they just smiled. You must have seen a bear or hallucinated. It happens a lot out there. Kayla never spoke publicly about it again. Jonah also disappeared months later. But before, he sent an encrypted USB drive to a private forum for paranormal researchers. The content was incomplete, but revealing. Inside, there were parts of a diary, seemingly from a scientist named Dr. Myers. He detailed experiments at Wessex Lake. They said it was for national security, to create fear, control. But what we did there was inhumane. The child died and then came back. Not like before. Now he listens to the lake. Another section, scribbled and shaky, read,
Listen to the lake.
Mask. It's his. The connection isn't broken. It's just waiting.
Man, listen. I don't know about y'all. That doesn't sound rude to me. Well, not too rude, but
If you have tried multiple oral antidepressants and they haven't worked,
You think Freddy Krueger is just a movie character, a legend made to scare us? What if I told you the truth is far darker and more real than Hollywood wants you to believe? This story begins in a small Ohio town where a boy was born surrounded by darkness. He didn't have a name yet, but the seeds of terror were already being planted. Imagine a baby born on a cold, rainy night in a simple, forgotten house, son of a woman carrying a terrible secret. Amanda wasn't an ordinary mother. Her past hid a pain that would shape that boy's fate in a frightening way. What is it that no one ever told about her? Amanda had been locked in a psychiatric hospital, declared insane, but the truth was different. She suffered brutal violence behind those cold walls, a secret buried in darkness no one dared to reveal. The boy she carried in her womb would be the living consequence of that horror. In Springwood, the birth of that boy was met with fear and whispers. Rejected before opening his eyes, he grew surrounded by looks of disdain. How can anyone survive abandonment from their very first breath? And what happens to those the world decides to forget? Amanda, increasingly lost between madness and shame, drifted away from her son. Freddy grew up without love, his only comfort the silence of the night and the shadows he began to call friends. Could darkness be a refuge, or just a prelude to something much worse? The other children in town saw Freddy as an abomination. They called him cursed, keeping away in fear and cruelty.
They called him
Bullying
cursed.
was relentless and invisible to adults.
You see what
What happens when the system fails and leaves a child to fend for themselves? At school, teachers ignored signs of suffering. Neighbors closed windows when he passed. Freddy learned to hide, to control his anger and fear, but inside him, a fire began to burn, a fire that would soon consume everything around him. Then came the night that changed everything forever. A fire, a tragedy, an irreparable loss. Amanda was brutally murdered, and Freddy watched the flames consume not just his mother, but the last spark of his humanity. Could you survive something like that? After that fire, Freddy disappeared. No one knew where he went, but something inside him died and was reborn that night. The fragile boy gave way to a dark presence, a force that would transcend death and cross the limits of reality. Years later, Freddy returned, but not as a lost boy. Marked by suffering, with a rage burning hotter than fire, he became a being who ruled dreams, able to enter people's minds and turn their fears into real nightmares. Freddy discovered he could use fear against his victims, exploiting the hidden weaknesses of the human mind. He no longer needed a physical body to cause pain. In the dream world, he was invincible, a silent hunter, a dark presence no one could see, but everyone could feel. His famous bladed glove was born from the need to turn his hatred into a weapon. Each cut wasn't just physical, but a strike to the soul. Freddy knew fear was his greatest strength, and the more his victims feared, the more powerful he became. Have you ever felt a fear so strong it seemed real? Freddy's victims weren't chosen randomly. He sensed true fear, the kind that eats you from inside, the fear no one admits. He used it to build traps in dreams, where the smallest mistake meant death. Surviving Freddy was almost impossible, and the cost was your sanity. While the town tried to forget his story, Freddy Krueger became a shadow in every home, a whisper in the sleeping night. People felt his invisible gaze, the cold touch of death coming when no one could defend themselves. Would you be ready to face him? His curse was terrible. Whoever dreamed of Freddy wouldn't wake alive. It was a cycle of terror that repeated, involving parents, children, and a whole community trapped in a nightmare without end. The town tried to resist, but darkness grew, and Freddy fed on it. Freddy wasn't just a monster, but a manifestation of the pain and abandonment he suffered. He sought revenge against all who rejected him, and his fury spread like wildfire, burning dreams and destroying lives. Could you escape the gaze of such a being? As Freddy gained power, his presence began to distort not only dreams, but reality itself. Victims no longer knew if they were awake or asleep, living in a terror limbo that consumed their minds. Where does the dream end and the nightmare begin? The police tried to ignore the disappearances, but the truth was clear. Something dark haunted Springwood. Freddy Krueger ruled invisibly, his dark legend growing nightly, fueled by the genuine fear and hopelessness of those who couldn't run. Still, Freddy wasn't invincible. He had weaknesses, hidden and mysterious, tied to the past that shaped him. Facing him meant confronting not just the monster, but the pain and abandonment that gave birth to the nightmare. Would you have the courage? And while fear consumed the town, Freddy Krueger smiled in the shadows, knowing his reign would only end when the last terrified breath was taken.
And see,
he was more
I'm
than a
looking at
monster.
it.
He was terror in its purest form, a vengeful spirit that forgave nothing and never forgot.
Oh. Okay. Now, as y'all see, it said, hold on. The more fear, the more stronger he got. Let me see. It ain't telling me on here. It ain't telling me the whole shebang. But the stronger he got was due to the fact of him always getting picked on. So he turned his fear into a strength, as most people should do. When something tears you down, breaks you down, it's better if you turn it into a strength, right? And or turn it into something profitable, or either or.
Freddy began playing with his victims' minds, crafting nightmare scenes tailored to their deepest fears. It was as if he read their thoughts, anticipating every move, leaving them trapped.
See,
Have you ever felt someone knows your darkest secret? No one escaped Freddy's invisible touch. When he entered a dream, time slowed, each second an eternity of terror. In the end, death was certain, or worse, silent disappearance, leaving only emptiness behind. The community split between disbelief and panic. Some tried to rationalize, others sought protection in ancient rituals. But nothing stopped Freddy's relentless hunt in the one place everyone is most vulnerable.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space? With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right down to your exact address.
Sleep. Even the brave became prisoners of their own fears when Freddy invaded their dreams. Victims dreaded sleep, but exhaustion pulled them back to face the monster. It was a battle lost before it began. Freddy wielded despair as a weapon. The more victims resisted, the crueler his attacks. Patient and methodical, he was a predator knowing true power lies in conquering the mind before the body. Could you resist this mental war? The bladed glove was not just a killing tool, but a symbol of Freddy's transformation. It marked his nightmares, a cruel warning that death was near, a reminder no one was safe. Not even in the intimacy of sleep. Amid the terror, unlikely heroes emerged. Youths choosing to fight Freddy armed only with courage and desperate will to survive.
And now they got
but was courage enough against a monster fed on fear? They sought weaknesses, ways to break or end Freddy's curse. But
I meant to really pause the damn video for you, but I was saying that it's a TV series. Oh, it's a documentary that's about to come out about Freddy Krueger anyway, but the real one. I'll probably bring it up after this video.
Every attempt seemed to strengthen him, proving the true enemy was the fear he embodied. Freddy's reign seemed endless, an eternal curse destroying dreams and hearts. Springwood lived under a shadow of terror, an invisible prison where hope was the last to die, if it survived at all. Meanwhile, Freddy watched silently, smiling. As long as fear reigned, he would never die. A living nightmare, a dark mirror reflecting our deepest weaknesses, always ready to strike on the next dark night. Slowly, stories emerged about how Freddy could be stopped, but all required confronting fear head-on. It was a psychological game where the mind's strength was the only weapon against a monster
I'm tagging everybody video that I'm playing.
Do you believe courage can truly defeat a nightmare?
Now, do y'all hear this?
Some youths escaped Freddy's attacks, but at a heavy price. Their sanity became fragile, forever marked by experiences no human should endure. The trauma inflicted by Freddy crossed dreams and invaded reality, leaving deep scars. Meanwhile, Freddy's legend grew, gaining darker edges. He became a symbol of collective fear, the embodiment of evil dwelling within us all. But is he merely a monster or something far more complex? To some, Freddy was a tragic figure, corrupted by abandonment and pain. To others, he was a merciless killer, a demon of dreams. This duality made his story more fascinating and terrifying, a reminder that evil wears many faces. Freddy's impact on dreams was so intense that reality and nightmare blurred. The line between worlds faded, and those fighting him faced an enemy existing in both. This confusion bred constant paranoia, where no one felt safe, not even in daylight. Freddy was terror transcending sleep, invading minds and eroding sanity. The fight against Freddy was spiritual as well as physical. Facing him meant confronting inner demons, accepting the pain and guilt fueling him. This was why so few survived encounters. Yet some resisted, knowing victory was unlikely. Ordinary people, youths, faced Freddy armed only with courage. This courage, however small, threatened to break the endless cycle of fear and death. Each battle with Freddy was a dance of life and death, with fear as the true adversary. Victims who stood firm found an inner strength no monster could erase. But how many were willing to pay that price? In the end, Freddy Krueger is more than a scary name. He's a dark symbol of what we try to hide, the fear, pain, and revenge born from rejection and abandonment. Are you ready to face your own nightmare? As Freddy ruled the dream world, Springwood tried to move on, but his shadow was impossible to ignore.
Springwood tried to...
Franklin University makes it possible.
Now let's go look up what they're talking about. I am tapping back in about Freddy. Okay. Oops. After his death, 3 dream demons gave him the power to become a supernatural entity, allowing him to enter and kill people in their dreams, which also results in a real-life death. His power comes from the fear of his victims, whom he often targets for revenge against the parents who killed them. Parents that killed them. Now, let me tell y'all, this right here is the Google of the movie, ain't the you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm. Yeah. So, Freddy's life and crimes. Childhood. Freddy had a troubled childhood, including being abused by his foster father and bullied. The Springwood slasher. As an adult, he became a child murderer, eventually committing around 20 murders. I don't know how they got that number. Arrest and release. He was arrested but released due to a legal technicality involving a flawed search warrant. And enraging the parents. Oh, yeah, I ain't put that on yet. I'm putting behind. No, I gotta go to the back part first. Now, Freddy's death transformation. Vigilante justice. The vengeful parents tracked him to an old boiler room where they burned him to death. The dream demons in his final moments, 3 dream demons. Oh my gosh, my bad, y'all. This shit is definitely good. It's definitely playing. I did not know it was back on. Hold on. Okay, no. Vigilante justice. The vengeful parents tracked him to an old boiler room where they burned him to death. Dream demons. In his final moments, 3 dream demons offer him a chance to live on, giving him the power to become a malevolent spirit who kills at dreams. Supernatural power. As a dream demon, Freddy uses the fear of his victims to gain power and invade their dreams to torture and kill them in the physical world. But they never really put the real truth behind it, because this is only the background for the movie Freddy Krueger, not the actual real Freddy Krueger. So here go his motivations. Revenge. Freddy's main motivation is revenge against the parents who burned him alive. Fear. He feeds on the fear of his victims, which amplifies his power to become a terrifying figure. I said victim. But he was a victim, though, because his main motivation is revenge against the parents who burned him alive. So he been going through their whole family tree. But that's not even the real one. This is the Google version of that one. So now I'm gonna Wikipedia him. Oh my gosh. Freddy Krueger to them is a fictional character and antagonist of the Nightmare on Elm Street horror film franchise created by Wes Craven. He made his debut in Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 as a malevolent spirit of a child killer who had been burned to death by his victims' parents after evading prison. Krueger goes on to murder his victims in their dreams, causing their deaths in the real world as well. In the dream world, he is a powerful force and seemingly invulnerable. However, whenever Freddy is pulled back into the real world, he has normal human vulnerabilities that can be destroyed. He is commonly identified by his burnt, disfigured face, dirty red and green striped sweater, and brown fedora, and trademark metal claw brown leather right hand glove. This glove was the product of Krueger's own imagination, having wielded the blades himself before using it to murder many of his victims, both in the real and dream worlds. Over the course of the film series, Freddy has battled several recurring survivors, including Nancy Thompson, and Alice Johnson. The character was constantly portrayed by Robert Englund in the original film series as well as in the TV spin-off Freddy's Nightmares. The reboot portrays him as an undead groundskeeper accused of molesting the students. Now, let's get to the real Cougar, because this is fake. They're saying, okay, let me break the quick breakdown in the universe information. Full name: Frederick Charles Krueger, alias the Springwood Slasher or the Dream Demon, which the first thing that started was the Springwood Slasher. That's what they was already given as y'all been listening. And then the Dream Demon came after to Freddy Krueger. His classification: mass murderer. Number one. Primary location: Springwood, Ohio. Signature weapon: the bladed glove. And his status is alive. And if it says death, please let me know some kind of way. Because let me know how to dream and how to sleep. Okay, let me finish this. Let's get it.
Started as an urban legend, turned into a cruel reality for many. Freddy Krueger was no longer just a scary name, but a constant presence breaking the barrier between dream and nightmare. A specter whispering threats in the mind's shadows. Survivors emerged, youths forever marked by encounters with Freddy. They carried invisible scars, a mix of fear and courage, memories of battles seemingly from another world, but leaving deep soul wounds. But what kept Freddy trapped between life and death? The secret lay in the curse's origin, buried deep in the past. Few dared to remember.
Now you heard they just said that was a lie. My woman just told me something, so I'm gonna just tell y'all this right now. All right, I was just giving y'all the background of the actual character before we get all the way into him. Okay, now look, Freddy Krueger's mother was Amanda Krueger, a nursing nun who was accidentally locked in a mental asylum ward and raped by numerous inmates. His birth father's identity is unknown. That's why they keep saying what they're saying about his father, and they always mention the foster father. And he was the result of the gang rape. Amanda gave Freddy up for adoption, and he was raised by an abusive adoptive father, Mr. Underwood, as they was just trying to say. Now, Freddy's parents, Amanda Krueger, she was a nun at the Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital. Now, you know that's crazy. During the holiday, she was accidentally locked in a tower with violent inmates and was repeatedly raped. She gave birth to Freddy, whom she later gave up for adoption. Unknown father, the man who fathered Freddy is never named or identified in the films and was one of the many inmates who raped Amanda Krueger. Now, Freddy's adoptive parents, Mr. Underwood. After Amanda gave up Freddy for adoption, he was taken in by an abusive alcoholic and pimp named Mr. Underwood. Freddy eventually murdered him as his first kill. Okay, now I'm about to tell you about this part, since they got the Slasher World Wikipedia. I don't know if y'all into slashers. They got their own Wikipedia. Wow, let me tell y'all this. Relatives: Amanda Krueger, mother; Mr. Underwood, adopted father; Loretta Krueger, wife; Maggie Burroughs, the daughter. Did y'all know he had a daughter? Okay. Now, let me see if y'all was hip. You know he's a widower. You know his birth, 1942. The place was Springwood, Ohio. The date of his death was 1968, but he was resurrected as Dream Demon. Place of death, Springwood, Ohio. Now, they say his physical description, his species is human, former. The latter is Dream Demon. Gender male, height 5'10". He weighed 165 pounds. That is crazy. So, and you already know how the tune go. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, better stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. I know y'all remember that. That was the most creepiest thing I ever heard. Now, back to this man right here, Freddy Krueger. I will continue in a minute after this.
past of pain, abandonment, and fire that turned a boy into an immortal monster. Over time, Freddy's story spread, gaining darker versions, but the truth never fully faded. He was a dark warning to those who ignored suffering and let hatred grow silently, a reminder of the price it demands. In Dream's darkness, Freddy waited patiently for the next victim, knowing human fear never fully disappears. He was terror's embodiment, the consequence of abandonment, a monster living not just in minds, but in people's hearts. So the question remains, can we truly defeat what lives inside us? Can fear be overcome, or are we doomed to an eternal cycle of nightmares like Freddy Krueger? The answer may be more complex than we think, but amidst chaos, there's hope. Every person...
Okay. Here's the rest of the breakdown. He was raised by Amanda and her alcoholic partner, Mr. Underwood. Freddy would live a troubled youth, being beaten regularly by Mr. Underwood and mocked at school. During his childhood, he would cut himself with a razor for pleasure, culminating in the murder of Mr. Underwood with the same razor. Springwood Slasher, first name ever. Excuse me. As an adult, Freddy would live in Springwood, Ohio, working at the local power plant, living with his wife, Loretta, and his daughter, Catherine. In secret, however, Freddy would hide a dark underside of his personality, murdering many local children in his workplace boiler room, torturing them with a homemade glove with fish knives attached to the fingers. Oh, Mr. Edward Scissorhand looking mother. All right. But torturing them with a homemade glove with the fish knives attached to the fingers. During this time in his life, the residents of Springwood, Ohio would come to know and fear him as the Springwood Slasher. All right. One day, Loretta would discover many of the tools used by Freddy to murder children hidden in their home. Horrified, she confronted him and came to the conclusion that he was the infamous Springwood, Ohio Slasher. Despite promising not to tell anyone, he strangled her to death right in front of a 6-year-old Maggie. So, he is mentally insane as it comes from his father, his upbringing, and the kids who bullied him. This is crazy. His known kills was 1, 1981, Tina Gray. 2, 1981, Rod Lane. 3, Glenn Lance. 4, Marge Thompson. And it's just so crazy. That's his mama. And they even got a film, Amanda Krueger horror film wiki. And her alias is Sister Mary Helena. Now, if y'all are hip to Freddy Krueger, I know y'all heard him say it a couple times, Sister Mary Helena. So, her relatives is Freddy Krueger, which is her son. Maggie Burroughs, remember, he killed her. You know, that was one of his kids, they claim that's our granddaughter. One of the maniacs impregnator. Okay, now. She's a female. Her date of birth was 1907. Her age was 60 at her death. Her status is deceased. Her year of death was 1968. Her DOA was suicide by hanging. My bad for all these dings. That's my phone dinging. People texting me. I'm trying to cut it down. I'm about to cut on D&D. But a lot of people about to tap in, so y'all will see them soon. They were just letting me know. The appearances. Okay, we have more on this. At 18, Amanda Krueger decided to become a nun, choosing Mary Helena as her name in Christ. Let's get back to the end of this.
Facing fear, resisting internal terror weakens Freddy's shadow. The true battle is within us, where courage and fear fight an endless war. Freddy Krueger is more than a horror icon. He mirrors what we create when we allow hate and rejection to consume us. Facing that truth is the first step to breaking free from fear and revenge cycles. Next time you close your eyes to sleep, ask yourself, what are you letting into your dream world? Freddy waits, not just to haunt, but to teach that true terror is what we carry inside. Are you ready to face it? Freddy Krueger is a silent warning. The fear you hide can become your worst enemy. He lives between dreams and reality, where few dare to enter. The darkness inside each of us can turn into the most terrifying monster. Are you ready to face that shadow? Many believe Freddy is just a Hollywood creation, but the truth hides something deeper and more disturbing. A dark portrait of pain, abandonment, and revenge we all fear to admit. What would you do if your worst nightmare was real? Subscribe to the channel to uncover more dark secrets cinema never told. Leave a like to strengthen this story and help spread the truth. Comment which character you want me to reveal the true story of next. Your voice matters. Freddy Krueger isn't just a screen terror. He's a mirror of what can exist within us all. Face your fears, because running from them only lets them grow and take over your world, in dreams and in real life. Every time you close your eyes.
That's why a lot of writers do research. They gotta research. They don't just make some shit. It's research. It's always some truth in any book, even it could be a fictional book. Who is this that just tapped into? So, and when people tap in, and yo, what's going on?
What up, bro?
Yup. I got you in here. Hold on, I'm trying to get somebody else real quick.
Freddy Krueger.
This nigga, I'm gonna send you the. Well, I ain't gotta send it to you. You already know you tapped in, but I'm gonna still give you the link, bro. You gotta watch the beginning of it. So look, I'm gonna go through only. I'm gonna say 3 comments of this real quick. So, as y'all can see, this say to the creator of this tale, you omitted the part where Freddy molested and killed the children on Elm Street. He was arrested, but the courts got messy and he was released on a technicality. So the parents of Elm Street formed together and knew he was hiding out in his boiler room. So they torched him alive. And the moment before death, these evil beings struck a bargain with Freddy and he agreed. It was from there he began to go after the children of the Elm Street parents. Freddy sought out Nancy for a specific reason. The man whom originally arrested Freddy Krueger was Donald Thompson, father of, you guessed it, Nancy. That's crazy. Her mother became an alcoholic due to the tragedy of Freddy Krueger kidnapping, molested, and killed Nancy's older sister. It was Don who led the parents to kill Fred. That's his backstory. And I gotta shout you out at Connie 40 Star. My watch is telling me almost there. I gotta stand for a little minute. Trying to keep up my health. Yeah. So. Yeah, okay, now this one says all he needed was one true friend to keep him sane. Another one says, I became a dream master. I had nightmares, so I learned to control them. Hold on, let's go to his 6 replies to that. LOL, me too. Freddy and I would hang out, and he made me a glove, but it was wooden popsicle sticks. Ha ha. He wouldn't let me harm anyone or anything for that matter, and he told me that people are already self-tortured. He just makes them look it straight on and face it. Not the guy in the movie, that's for sure. Okay, another one said facts. I thought I was the only one. I can summon lightning. Fly. I got a lightsaber and a sandalwood grips. Pistol. Yes, all true. Okay, actually called lucid dreaming. I'm pretty good at it, but I wish I was able to astrally travel. All right, now we gonna hold from them real quick. How you been, bro?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, bro. After that got done.
All right. Okay, then how everything went all right as it should?
Yeah, it went pretty good. Fill out some paperwork. You know how they go.
Yeah. All right, so this one is the real story.
Congratulations, Mom and Dad. Your life now revolves
around. I
around
want to do that way. Hold on. I'm gonna do the backstory to the ring.
Do you believe The Ring was born only from cinema's imagination? The truth is far darker. Before Samara Morgan appeared on screen, there was a real legend wrapped in death and despair. A forgotten story, hidden in old records and hushed whispers. Today, you will uncover the origin of a curse that crossed generations, turning fear into reality and legend into destiny. It begins in 19th century Japan. Back then, tales of vengeful spirits haunted distant villages. One figure stood out, Sadako Yamamura, a girl born under mysterious conditions, surrounded by rumors of paranormal gifts. They said she could project her rage into objects, even kill with a glance. For some, it was folklore. For others, it was proof that evil walked among us. Sadako grew up isolated, marked by her mother's silence and the community's rejection. She was called Cursed, a child of darkness. Witnesses claimed that when enraged, shadows filled rooms and animals collapsed. There was fear even of her touch. The girl had become a living enigma, carrying in her eyes the reflection of something men would never dare to fully understand. In youth, Sadako was taken to public shows. Her supposed gift became spectacle. Crowds watched in horror as birds dropped dead before her without reason. Scientists attempted to study the phenomenon, but abandoned it, overwhelmed by the oppressive atmosphere. With each demonstration, terror spread. Sadako was not seen as a girl anymore, but as a harbinger, a warning that dark forces were free. One detail disturbed everyone, her bursts of rage. When humiliated, Sadako seemed to unleash an invisible force that destroyed objects around her. Glass shattered, lamps exploded, bodies collapsed as if crushed by unseen hands. It was then that rumors of mysterious deaths began to spread. Those who confronted her were found lifeless, their faces frozen in expressions of sheer terror. The terrified community demanded her destruction. Some wanted her burned alive, others begged for exorcisms. But her mother, lost to madness, said Sadako was only a victim of forces she couldn't comprehend. For neighbors, there was no doubt the girl was evil itself. And the more people feared her, the stronger her influence became, seeping into the very air around her. In time, Sadako was hidden away, taken to a secret place of confinement. They thought it safer to remove her from the world. Yet darkness is not erased by silence. Inside those walls, phenomena grew more intense. Guards and caretakers reported voices echoing through corridors and female figures appearing. Many abandoned their posts, unable to endure the suffocating weight of her presence. They said that at night, Sadako wandered the halls, dragging her soiled white dress. Her long hair concealed her face, but her eyes glowed in the dark like burning coals. Reports claimed she appeared before those who spoke ill of her, and soon after, those very people were found dead. Fear transformed her prison into a tomb filled with unspoken secrets. Records mention a decisive episode. During an evaluation, Sadako faced her captors. At the height of rage, she shouted incomprehensible words, and all around her collapsed unconscious. One never awoke. It was believed she had summoned something beyond the living world. After this, the decision was final. Sadako had to be eliminated at any cost, no matter how cruel. Her execution was not public. They say she was taken to an abandoned well. There, in the dark, she was thrown alive, left to die slowly. What should have been the end became only the beginning. Witnesses claimed to hear screams for days until silence fell. Yet some swore that even after her death, echoes of her voice still rose from the earth. After her death, many believed the evil was gone. Yet the well where Sadako was thrown became a place of dread. Those who approached felt chills, heard childish voices, sensed a suffocating presence. Some claimed to see long hair rising.
What happened?
They used to try to feed us. They give us food. They help us out. You know what I'm saying? Like with the car or something, and then they come back over with a plate, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, thank you. But when they leave, I'll be throwing that away. I'll be like, nah, I ain't eating that. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Definitely down south. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you want to eat it so bad? Why you, they be over happy. Like, here, eat this, eat.
He said over happy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm cool. I
He
ain't
said
like,
over happy.
and you don't want nobody to eat your food that bad. Like, come on, bro. Like, nah.
Hey, I want to put that. You know, what you DM me, I want to put her on her.
Oh,
Juju the Guru.
oh yeah.
I want to put her on her.
Uh,
But she did put that on there. So hold on, let me see. I could do it though. Let me make sure that's still.
okay.
All right, I'm about to play this and I'm about
From
to
the
find
dark
it
water,
while that's playing.
the community avoided the place, convinced something
show
had
it up on
survived
the-
down
on the
there,
thing on
something
here.
that could not be buried so easily. Time passed, but the stories persisted. Tales of youths visiting the well.
Hold on, we about to pause that right quick and then tap into Miski. So, how everybody doing? Y'all know what's going on. As y'all can see, this is me. I make as much posts as I have followers. But but y'all gotta peep this. Oh, I'm gonna let y'all peep. What the fuck? I'm trying to tap into her. Listen to her. Hold on.
Chaos and Violence, who brutally murdered his own
Let me
brother.
bring her back in so y'all can hear it from the beginning.
I'm from the Set. Set, the god of chaos and violence, who brutally murdered his own brother. Yeah, can I get all the gang members to the front, the Crips specifically? Because that wordplay is just... I need every single one of you to literally know that you are part of a social experiment. Experiment 626, my nigga. 6 plus 2, forward and backwards, 88, yttrium. In my Jesus Exposed video, I literally talked about how the number 88 lined up with the element yttrium, which is used for lighting and camera lenses. You're not in a set, you're on a set, and it's time for you niggas to get off set, because you've definitely lost the plot. So let's get into the God set. On one hand, he was destructive as fuck. On the other hand, he represented strength and necessary disruption. Y'all started out as community revolution in progress. Somewhere down the line, the protectors of the community literally became the people who were literally terrorizing that same community. On top of that, you did it wearing shoes called British Knights. Y'all do know LBC stands for London Broadcasting Company, right? Lauren London? Yeah, it's not given fly crippin'. It's given a guy from Britain. Speaking of Europeans, Blamar means blue man, a Viking word to describe a dark-skinned man. This is a Blamar. This is a Blamar. And the tattoo on his back is cryptic. Slauson Boy with an emphasis on the Y. The Jesus element with the Looney Tunes satellite. Looney Tunes created by...
Looney Tunes
Warner
created
Brother.
by...
You know what else is a satellite? The moon. The Crips were founded in 1969. The same year we went to the moon. An insult for a Crip is a crab, like Cancer, the sign ruled by the moon. The glyph for Cancer is a 6 and a 9. The element gallium, literally responsible for the creation of blue light, has an atomic mass of 69. Gallium salts are literally used for cancer treatment? Y'all gonna let the people play in your face, huh? That's crazy. The moon rules over water and emotions. A person who exhibits extremely foolish or erratic behavior is called a lunatic. Luna? Okay, so you niggas is the Saint Lunatics. Ooh, and check out that 88. You know, they said Crip was short for cripple, because you guys used to use canes as a weapon or some shit like that. But I'm willing to bet it has much more to do with a crippled mindset.
I'm about to go to the next.
Think about it. Canes are for elders. Elder, coming from the root word El, a Hebrew word for God. El also meaning an elevated railroad.
You are in
Well,
the show.
well,
I see you.
Slauson Station.
What up,
That's
Mike?
interesting.
What up? What up?
This is interesting too. Like and share for part 2.
What am I
I'm
watching?
from
All right, now y'all seen it?
Yeah, you see,
Majesty did that. What the fuck?
Oh,
Hold
I
on,
just saw
y'all.
that.
Tap in.
I just read
Oh
that.
my gosh.
She not dead, y'all. She not dead.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Why that happened on St. Clair though? On like 143rd in St. Clair. She only 5 years old.
Oh
And she only
no.
5 years old, babe.
And they said the corpus was an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old.
You said
And that they can't press charges. They beat and
can't
raped this 5-year-old on St.
See,
Clair.
in our day,
143rd.
They put
Hey y'all, I got
mild
something to
shit
say.
on.
we would have
Anybody
caught.
that come across this video, please share, please share, please share, please share. I just wanted to bring awareness, parents. Did y'all know that it was a challenge on this platform called the Blue Whale Challenge? And
we had something like
what
that.
it is it's a list of things
Y'all raising some motherfucking
for
rapists.
kids. Kids are following this
What
challenge.
kid is raping
And
at
it's a
fucking
list
8,
of
9, and
things,
10?
horrible things,
They
some
did it on the show.
harmful, they're
Like
telling the
8,
kids to do to themselves. Like,
she 5 years old.
one of the things is to slit
5
their
years
throat,
old. Now she
slit
talking
their
about killing
wrists.
herself and
When they get to the last thing, it's telling them to unalive themselves. So, you know, it could
All
be
right, look.
anybody, kids. It could be my kid, your
I understand that
cousin,
this is about
anybody.
people's kids. This
Please
is
share this
serious.
video, y'all, so we can bring
No.
awareness to parents that aren't
Okay.
aware of what's going on. Check your kids' phones. Please check their phones, because we know, you know, kids love to do challenges. And
No. I hope y'all heard that, and that's that. Check your kids'
That's crazy.
phones and make sure they're not trying to do that blue whale challenge. It is real. It is real. And why is her screen stuck? Or why I can't hear her? You see it?
Hey, sweet.
You see her screen?
Yeah, I see it.
Hold on, let me see if I take her off and bring her back. It's still not. Her shit is stuck. Oh,
If I got to load, mine was like that first before it came
I
on.
can't hear her. What the fuck? All right, well, tapping
Hey,
in
I'm
back
good.
to the next one though. But you
We
said
would have
don't look
caught
at what?
back in the day,
Huh?
bro. We would have caught
Oh,
them.
oh, yeah. All them little killers and all right. So let me do my first. I did the movie. I did what 3 real movie people. So I gotta pull out the all every last which and every last one. I gotta do the Bloody Mary one. I'm doing everybody though. I'm doing the killers and the so-called what's the name? But I gotta come with the relevant. Oh, they got the truth behind. What's the name? You see that? Oh, I gotta click on the truth behind Dora the Explorer. Man, kids watching that. Hold on, huh?
A 10 and 9-year-old.
Dora is cursed. Dora's demon, the dark story hidden behind Dora the Explorer. Why everybody got something about that? What the? No. The sick truth about Dora the Explorer exposed, man. Everybody got one. We gonna click on one.
Dora, where is she now? Dora the Explorer, stories you didn't know. Now, if you didn't know, Dora and her monkey friend named Boots, every episode would go on adventures throughout the jungle. And even though Boots and Dora had a very good relationship, it didn't last forever. As one day, Swiper would pull up to Boots and Dora and confirm to them that he's no longer a Crip and he wants to join the Bloods where Boots is. But sadly, he was lying and tried to beat up Dora. And of course, Boots pulled out the strap and smoked him. Later that day,
I
after
should have
hearing what
known that
happened,
he was a
Diego
dummy.
decided to surprise Dora with a Gucci bag. But
He made it sound like it was a real story, bro. Like he didn't want Crip no more. He wanted blood,
Right.
bro.
Oh yeah. That's what I had to put in. What? I had to put. It was something that new that just came up. I'm about to play this one and then go to the. There we go. I think this is the newest one. I know. All right, yeah, that one.
Experience truly effortless positioning with an all-new GPS remote on GhostX.
Oh, here we go one of them right here.
Oh, okay.
You believe in the Illuminati?
Yes, I do, and I
Just in
believe
case y'all
that.
want to know what it's about, I'm gonna leave it right there like that.
I don't believe that you work hard to get where you at. I believe you get chose. No matter how that sounds, you don't work hard to be successful.
Bro, he
And
is. Everybody
I hate when
said.
people say that though. You
Gucci
get
said
chose.
something.
People,
His wife, kid,
you
got
get
him
chosen to
trapped in the
be
house.
successful. They have their picks.
They talking
No
about
matter how it sounds, you
that's
can be
how
the
he
most
lived and
talented
money
person in the
shit,
world.
right?
If you're not picked
Talking
and
about the
selected,
interview.
it's kind of like the NBA. You know, I can imagine it's buku people
He said it's
that's
kind of like
just
an
way
NBA.
more
You get
talented than other
drafted.
people that don't quite get the minutes and the time and got to sit on the bench because the NBA have a way of choosing who they choose to be superstars. It's kind of like that in the rap industry. And it don't come from the rap industry. It comes from the Illuminati. No matter how that sounds, the Illuminati is real, 100%. Trust me, I know. You hear me? I have been approached so many times. You dig? And that's one of the reasons of why, it took me a while to want to drop on a major, which I'm on my way to now, and I'm dropping a project called No One Kills. Right after this interview is over, you're gonna hear about it a lot. But yeah, I've been approached by the Illuminati at least 3 times in my life, which makes me petrified because the things that come with that, it's
okay?
It's
You think it's real?
Oh, Illuminati?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Look at
I
this.
think
He
so.
even said it right
I
here.
think we the worst candidate, bro. I think we'd be like the worst too, bro.
This shit crazy.
They'd be like, man, why these niggas swinging on us?
Look at this. Kanye West speaks on sacrificing his mom for fame. Like, they all say so much because we've been through some stuff. Like, no.
Bro, that's a big penalty right there.
Okay, this will be a quick one. Let me see. Oh, there we go. There go the new one right there about the Illuminati. Bro was talking about it and they're trying to shut him down. What the fuck is this? I just seen these.
You
there
believe
we go.
in the
Here.
Illuminati?
20 hours ago. Look at
yes,
that. 20 hours
yes,
ago.
I do.
Kodak went viral for something. It wasn't this.
Shower, bro. How you know? And how you know? Kodak, you gonna get a retwist on? Hell no. I don't twist my hair.
They gonna get a retwist and they gonna say, hell nah. He said, I don't do shit to it.
I don't let nobody do my shit.
I don't
let nobody touch my shit. I let nobody touch my head, play my head.
Play my head. Look at that.
Nah, not all them silly ass faces. Not them silly faces.
Hold on, let's go to Gucci
What's for
first.
this?
No, we gonna go to front.
I bet that yak must be off milk.
Nah.
If you're here in the area and are looking for a solution to heat your home this winter, then this is hands down the system you need to be looking at. It's a
You want to support me? Go to Mimi Marie 37 on IG and purchase a signed copy of my book.
He fuck with, he do Mev, he smoke K2. Kodak been admitted all that shit, and Molly, he like, nigga, and Pop Perks, but he like, I'ma admit it to you before somebody think they can come out and expose me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, yeah, I respect
Oh, it's your boy Trenches News, and I'm back at y'all with another one. Appreciate all the support. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed to the channel. If you ain't subbed to my channel, make sure you join the membership. Shout out to all my mods. If you ain't following my mods, you can follow their X at the end of the video. Remember, if you got anything extra, I said extra, not food, hygiene, clothes.
You said what?
How you feel about him?
Dirt or what's the name?
This guy.
Oh, Oh, that's
Say
talking.
the kids, the women, the elderly, the neutrons, and the
Yeah,
civilians.
they got
It's
some
Monday. CPD can't save you or your local police department, so
They
make
be
sure you know
saying a
where your
whole bunch of
kids
shit
are
about blood.
and your surroundings. All right, y'all, we got new paperwork on Lil Durk, also known as Mustafa,
from out
also
there.
known as Blood, also known as
he
the
is
king
a
of
real member,
OTF,
though.
according to the feds.
They do gotta
Um,
admit that.
Dirk is
That's why his
asking,
face
Drew
like that.
Fenley and them is asking that his case be dismissed under the Trump Act. I'm explaining it all.
Under
All
the
right,
Trump
so
Act. Trump.
and one of the unsealed and
I gotta come
one of
back in.
the
The
indictments that was
Trump
sealed,
Act.
it got unsealed. And Lil Durk and his lawyers now was arguing that the person who prosecuting the case, he's not qualified to prosecute the case. His terms are up. He's not a federal officer of the court, and you know that's a violation, man. And he ain't supposed to be in there. Now that's one
that's
way
hard.
that they going at a
That's
dismissal.
hard right there.
Now the other way they going at a dismissal is because of this. This indictment is impermissible, vague. It leaves the defense to guess as to the government's theory of guilt, and it leaves the government free to change that theory as its cooperator stories morph over time to meet the demands of the conviction. Because the indictment omits the factual particulars necessary to give Mr. Banks notice of charges against him and permit him to prepare his defense at trial, it fails to satisfy Fed R. Crim and the Fifth and Sixth Amendments dismissal warranted as an alternative to dismissal. This motion seeks a bill in particulars under the Fed R. Crim, along with the Fifth and Sixth Amendments. Count 1 and 2 allege that Mr. Banks conspired to and participated in a murder for hire. In other words, a murder as consideration for the receipt of and consideration of the promise and agreement to pay anything in pecuniary value or what the government calls a bounty, defining anything in pecuniary value to include anything of value in the form of money, a negotiable instrument, a commercial interest, or anything else that's primary significance in which the economic advantage. The problem with 1 and 2 counts is that while they do allege the general terms that Mr. Banks offered a bounty for TB murder, they do not provide the specifics necessary for him to adequately prepare for his defense to prevent surprise at trial, to protect against double jeopardy, or to prevent the government from shifting its legal theory and staying from in grand jury presentation. The indictment only alleged that Mr. Banks used unspecific coded language that oxymoronically made clear that TB's killer would be rewarded with money or lucrative music opportunities with OTF. But according to the government, what was the coded language he used upon which the grand jury based its charging decision, when, where, and how was the coded language bounty alleged conveyed? What were the monetary rewards and music opportunities that were supposedly promised or delivered as consideration for the murder? Without more, and there's a real danger of constructive amendment and fatal variances at trial in violation of the Constitution. The similar deficiencies plagues the direction of language that affects every court in the indictment. While the indictment alleged that the co-conspirators carried out the various acts at the direction of Banks flying to Los Angeles, tracking, stalking, and attempting to kill TB by gunfire and procuring the firearms and equipment used to do so, it fails to give any specifics when or where, how, to whom did Mr.
He beat it. Y'all
With
never
Prime
did
Big
it.
Deal Days coming October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal
He
away.
got shot and killed.
The D-man. Yeah, shout out my nigga from D's Media, you feel me?
You know.
Oh, they
Yo, it's
posting
your
his
boy
body.
Media back again with another video. Like, comment, subscribe
No,
to the
I was
channel
on
on
there
the road
here.
to 100K. Today we're gonna talk about NBA YoungBoy Day One homie
Hey, you see
187
this?
Derek.
NBA
Tragically
YoungBoy
lost his
Day
life
One
last night
187
at a club.
Derek
Let's jump straight into it.
Shot and killers troll NBA and
Friday
post
night
his
on
body.
3rd Avenue. Good
They
evening, I'm
posting his
Devin
dead
Cruz.
nigga body.
Police responded to a shooting at Juicy's Lounge around 11 last night. When officers arrived at the scene, they found one victim in a parking lot near the lounge. The victim was taken to a local hospital, but later injuries. The investigation continues, and police are asking the public to submit any information on the shooting by calling the number on your screen. You can also leave an anonymous tip.
Man, somebody got shot, and that's crazy. You can't even go out and have fun at all. I was just clowning about the police.
Fun at all.
So how did you get affiliated with NBA, like the 4K Church?
Very crazy. Terra High School. I met young boy. We took an English class together. I never forget. This nigga always was late to class. We had a mean teacher, man. She every time the bell rings, she locked the door. I remember one day that he was at the door, knocking on the door. He's like, "Come on, man, damn, you gonna run me out like that?" Man, I got up and opened that door. I got my that nigga. But by that time, that nigga dropped that song with Scotty Kane and Homicide. He stayed at school for another 3-4 days, and I ain't shot off. Yeah, principal's class knocking. Hey, Contrell Gardner.
All right.
Nah, he ain't in here.
Ain't none of that. 4K Trey was gonna lead me to hell. You worrying about 4K Trey? 4K Trey ain't got my back. Jesus Christ got my back.
He said
4K Trey ain't called me yet since I gave my life to God. But I'm in the streets and stuff on my way to hell. Oh, they happy for me. See what I'm saying? We ain't worrying about what 4K Trey got to offer me. We worrying about what Jesus got to offer me, man. Eternal life.
He said with Jesus.
That's what's wrong with this generation right now. We care about what the world got to think about us. We care about what 4K Trey got to say about us. 4K Trey ain't going to get you to heaven. At all, like, man, we need to wake up out here. Who you giving your worship to, God or 4K Trey? Say 4K Trey type dudes get mad at you for reading books
Why you got that
and
fucking
getting
band-aid
more
on your nose? I seen
content.
it on here, but I don't want to say it on the stream.
Then them.
They gonna be.
Man, bro, it don't even matter, bro. 4K Trey ain't gonna be the reason that I go to heaven, bro. Only what Jesus Christ did on the cross for my sins, all my wrong, that's the only way I'm gonna get to heaven.
That movie out, baby.
Knowing what Jesus did for me, bro. Come on, man. Don't nobody in this world love you.
Let's go to this funny nigga. He always talking shit. We can laugh real quick. Hold on, wait a minute. What's going on right there?
Oh, there it is.
And I got Louis Vuitton bag with the little boo-boo on it.
You know them bitches gamers, nigga. Don't want
Louis Vuitton bag,
Oh, why he got that?
Come on, man, you know what's going on.
They be thinking it's they be thinking it's stuff a game.
He come live, boo chain. That nigga about to
Man,
go.
when you out the way, when you really rich, and you really get money and you out the way,
that nigga grill horrible.
You gonna be coolin'. Ain't gonna be no good.
That nigga shit look bad.
You broke and you
that
clout
nigga
chasing,
shit look.
you going outside and you just desperate, you lost. You gonna be the most viral shit in the world because everybody.
I ain't lying, his shit look fake.
But don't nobody want to see a nigga that's on this shit. Successful, having money, winning awards, out the way, taking care of their kids. They don't want to see that. I'd rather be rich and out the way than broke and viral. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be rich and out the way, man.
He said I'd rather be rich and out the way.
They can have the clout and
I ain't trying to be broke and viral. You hear me? My nigga say I ain't trying to be broke and viral. I'm trying to be rich and tucked off.
What's up?
Ain't nobody call his phone.
You just told me to come somewhere. You want me to come there? Or you want me to come at?
She ain't playing with that nigga. He gonna answer.
All right.
He like, I'm on camera, man. I got this big ass bump on my motherfucking cheek.
Yeah, baby, but y'all know what's going on, man. Swag 7 on the way, man. You know what I'm saying? This beautiful, you know what I'm saying? This beautiful. I got the biggest clothing line in LA, you know what I'm saying? I got the biggest.
He should have said that I'm gone.
In Los Angeles. Go for
it. He said you cannot. Next.
What up guys, DJY is back again with another episode. In today's video I want to show you Jim Jones' response to New York Blood, who said Jimmy have no any blood friends. Check this out the video, come on.
Homie Focus didn't have to drop his flag to deliver the message and his reason for not dropping the flag because Damu at war. What war the been in? What yard he been in? Huh? He never even been to jail before. You know, the war where? What war you been in, homie? Because I ain't seen you on no battlefields in Damu. You look real cute.
Yeah,
I challenge your ass. I'm gonna give you a challenge. How about I'll bust you and then you drop your flag? Huh? How about I come to your block? I'm from Brooklyn. All right? I'll fight you right on Lennox Avenue. All right? Start you now and show you some wars. All right? And be careful how you respond. Be very, very mindful of how you respond. Because I'm coming to the block. I'll fight you on your block for free. We ain't got to do this for no money. We ain't got to do this for you lose. You drop your flag.
You say what? Hold on. Say that again, cuz.
He keep leading kids up, like trying to get them to be bloods, and some of the older people from Harlem, like, I'm gonna slap the shit out of them when I see him.
He should have never said that though. You heard what he said. He talking about some war. What war you been in?
Talking about you want to been in war? I want to see how much war you been in when you going against the Warriors.
Still outside. You asked me where I've been. I said I never left.
You bloggers, right? You bloggers. I'm walking Starbucks. I'm back outside.
Shit, get when you wake up, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. It's how it gets.
So guys, tell me what you think about this beef between Jim Jones and New York Bloods. Just tell me in comment section and let's discuss about this topic. If you like how we, don't forget to subscribe right to it.
I fuck with him because of what's going on.
He got some fire content.
Yeah, I know. Fucking and others took hip hop and put it in a chokehold. Gucci Mane took plenty of street niggas and flipped them around, turned them into hip hop legends. Rappers like Young Scooter, Young Thug, Domingos, and more.
Go ahead, gang.
Waka Flocka.
Go ahead.
I'm about to, cuz.
Hey, no, he gotta go. Let's go. Quote that.
God. Is this real life, bro? This is a fever dream.
Yo, Scooter! Yo! Hey, no, he gotta go. Let's go. Quote that.
God. Is this real life, bro? This is a fever dream.
I had to end it with that one. But y'all know what's going on. Love the state, love the reg. Y'all chilling, y'all loving this shit. Make sure everybody stay tap in, tap. Yeah. Tap in, keep everybody else tapped in. Y'all know what's going on. More, a lot of that. We out with another one. Yes, sir. Come on. Wait.